Hey folks, Tim with Old School Tips and Techniques. Sorry it's been a while since I've been on here. Been keeping busy, and right now I'm trying to deal with the after season blues. You know, this is just a brutal time of year for me. I'm not real fun to be around. Once the season's over, you get into a lull there. I've got to go out, pull my tree stands down, maybe go out, look for some sheds, but it's just kind of a downer time of year. But we have a little nice weather today. It's a little warm. We've had some snow. You guys can see it in the background. I'm on my own today taping this, so I don't have anybody that would come out here with me. So I'm going to use a selfie stick, and I kind of want to go over what turned out to be a crazy, bizarre season. Pretty much as far as my equipment choices go. First time in quite a while, I've actually got myself into a pretty bad spot out here, and I got kind of hurt maybe 2 or 3 sits into the season back in September. So I want to take a walk with you. I want to go down to the tree stand where it all happened. In my last video I talked about tree stands, maybe a little karma here, but I want to walk you down to what happened, why it happened, how I can hopefully prevent this from happening to one of you guys, and then I want to take you to one of my other stands and show you what steps I'm taking in the future now, and hopefully I'm not going to be become a little bit of a slacker on that and let something like this happen again. So thanks for checking in. We'll be right back with you. So here you go, folks. This is one of my favorite hunting properties. It's about maybe 10-15 minutes from my house. Again, bear with me. I'm not used to this selfie stick. My kids gave it to me, but I think I can get way out there. So this is it. It's right off a major highway, so the road gets a little noisy. But you can see it's pretty neat. I mean, it's residential hunting. It's maybe 40 acres. The fields down in back of me, they plant in corn, they plant in soybean, and what I'm hoping they really go back to is alfalfa. Because what happens in the late season is when they have all this field in alfalfa, I pull all the deer from all the neighboring properties. And late season, I usually get a herd of about 45 deer on this property, and then it just becomes a little bit of a cat and mouse game as far as to where I can catch them coming out of the bedding areas. Downside is last couple years here, I've lost 2 of my primary bedding areas. One to a new house. I'll get to that in a few minutes when we get up to the other part of the property. And another to a 2-acre or 3-acre lot that they're going to build a second house on. So this season, it was different. This property sucked this year. It really did. I saw 1 decent buck early in the season, and other than that, I mean, I probably saw between 10 and 11 bucks under me that were just all of about 15 inches of antler. Maybe I did see 1 or 2 nice 6-pointers, but it's just nothing I was after. So, we bared with it. We jumped around to some other properties, and we eventually got it done. It was a great season. Shot several deer, and the big thing this year is I shot several deer with several different types of bows. So let's get down here and show you where the fun began about my second day out, and we'll kind of go from there. So here we are, guys, out in the middle of the field. My hands adjusted here, and you can see up here they bed, and then they bed all the way over there in that one area. And what happens is they all pour out across the field every night to this little hedgerow right here. Let's see if I can get this in for you here, but just a little hedgerow that pinches out. And if we walk up this way, what happens with this hedgerow is it's right in the middle of the field, and it splits the field. And the deer, whenever they come across, they just, deer love to go from cover to cover. And instead of just walking across the field, they'll kind of come out, and they'll hit this little tree right in the center over here, right there. And then they just kind of cut across to this hedgerow. And one of the big drawing factors of this area here is this tree right here on the end is a crabapple, and I'll get scrapes all over underneath it, and everything kind of pours out across to this. Right down here a little bit farther, maybe 20 yards from this. And the downside with this is I can't shoot the crabapple from where I'm at. So I catch deer either coming up this way towards the crabapple or across and eating at the crabapple, then moving down. And then it's usually a 8-yard shot. I probably hunted this 6 times and probably have shot 4 deer. I don't hunt it a whole lot because I don't know, it's kind of boring sitting out here. You can get in here a little bit late, and then maybe an hour before dark, the deer just start all pouring down this field. And again, early season, late season, every deer comes across this field for some reason, walks right by this spot. So I'll show you where my stand location is set up here. And all we're doing now is, if you can see, I'm just walking down the edge of this this little finger. And if you can see here, you can see the deer run that runs right along this edge. So my stand, although it looks exposed from this side, on the other side where I've shot the deer, you're tucked in there pretty good. And it's just, again, we're in late winter here, and what happens is a lot of the foliage and the branches drop down, and it's nowhere near as exposed as it looks. But so here's the story. Maybe in my second time out this year, I went out early season, first day, ended up shooting a nice doe at another property. Came back out here maybe the second time, sat up on the hill and noticed where a couple real nice bucks were coming out over here to my south. So I figured I'd slip up into this stand and just maybe I could catch one. Maybe an hour before dark, I noticed a couple of the bucks came out with some does. They made their way, kind of over and around this hedgerow that you see up here. It's just another little finger that sticks out. And they eventually made their way right over to the crabapple tree. Unfortunately, they didn't come up this side or the other side, so I didn't have a shot. When it got dark, I climbed down, and as you can see, it's a thick tree at the base, and then it thins out. And what happened, guys, is as I was going from the thinner part to the thicker part of the tree, one of my tree steps pulled out of the tree. And I only use American-made easy climb tree steps. I've never had this problem before, but I just know that I was instantly flying, and I'm pretty fit. I can knock out 15 pull-ups and whatever. I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I'm pretty fit. But I'm here to tell you that when all of a sudden the tree step that your foot is resting on is no longer there, you have absolutely no control. You're instantly flying, you're instantly falling. What slowed my fall was I was able to, unfortunately, hook my left armpit under my bicep to a tree step that I hit is going down as fast as my 165 pounds will pull me. It didn't flip me, but it kind of knocked me back and slowed my fall, and then I kind of ended up on my heels. I didn't fall down. It's not really that long of a fall. It was maybe a 5-foot fall, but my right hand kind of came down the tree bark like a squirrel, and I damaged a tendon in my ring finger, or my middle finger, which for the rest of the season really changed the way I operated and changed the way I had to do things. But, I hear what you're saying right now. I do not have a lifeline on this tree. The stand's not that high. I go from crotch to crotch. I made a mistake. I should have had a lifeline on it. Like I do every year, and like a lot of us do, is we put a little bit too much faith in tree steps and tree ladders, because they can break, or a bungee, or not a bungee, but a ratchet strap can break, and we can come tumbling down. And again, the sad thing is the last video I did at the end, I made sure to say, hey guys, be careful in tree stands. And then here we go. So I got a bruise under my arm still. I was lucky I hit the ground. The first thing I was concerned with is, hey, did I rip my jacket? The second concern was, do I have any skin left on the fingers on my right hand that was trying to, I don't know, dig my fingernails in? But what happened is that tree step caught 100% under my armpit on my bicep and left just one hell of a bruise that I still have. I don't know, what are we, September, October, November, December, January, a good almost, 5.5 months later, I still have a bruise. So be careful out there. What I want to do is I want to go over and kick the tree a couple of times just to make me feel a little better. Then I want to jump up to another stand that I have on the property. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to walk past 2 stands. I don't want to go too far in the property because this property holds quite a bit of deer this time of year. And I don't want to stress them out by pushing them. But we'll take a little walk here and show you a couple of my other stand sets and kind of how I do it and what I've done to change so these things don't happen again. We'll be right back with you. So as I'm walking here, guys, we've got a long ways to go. I'll tell you exactly, how things played out. After I did had my little tumble there, I was unable to shoot my traditional bow. I just could not put any pressure on that middle finger. And the first time I've shot a traditional bow since the fall was about 3 days ago. So it's feeling better. I had to go to a heavier type of shooting glove just because the thinner ones really, I still feel it. Kind of looking here, I'm hoping maybe I'll find a shed walking across here, but that would be kind of cool for the video. So the first direction I went is I pulled out I was shooting right-handed, and since I couldn't use that right hand to draw the string, I pulled out a left-handed compound, a finger's bow, which was one of the old Chuck Adams compounds from years ago. It is a 45 or 46 inch Hoyt Pro Force, and I started shooting with it. I was shooting with it instinctively, and I don't know, maybe 3 days later I went out and shot a deer with it. And a lot of this I talk about old school stuff, and I just want everybody to know that I'm definitely 100% not anti-compound, never have been. I think what we need to shoot when we hunt is what we're effective with. Okay, I understand trad bows, traditional recurves, long bows and all, they're cool, they're fun, but when you're shooting at a live animal, a deer, an elk, what have you, you need to shoot what you shoot well, what's effective for you. And, there's a lot of folks out there that, maybe shouldn't be hunting with a bow, be it a long bow or be it a recurve or even a compound for that matter. It's just, maybe it just doesn't work for them. And, it's good for those folks out there to realize that, we need to put ethical shots on these animals. I don't want to get on a tangent about that, but, that's my thoughts. So my first shot with my compound instinctively was right on the money. The deer went about 30 yards. Nice doe. Very happy with, how everything worked. Uh-oh, hold on. We got a shed. Isn't that crazy how that worked out? I'm telling you, it was not planned like this. But I know these deer come in this field every night, so here we go, guys. Let me try to use this. Look at that. That's kind of cool. Just a little guy. Huh. Good stuff. Great for the video. Let me glance around here. Maybe the twin to it somewhere. Huh. Pretty cool. Nice. But again, I think the compound was maybe 60 pounds, something like that. 50% let off. Super quiet, great bow. I'll do a little stint on each of the bows I used this year at the end here. But after that, I shot I shot 5 or 6 more deer. One more with that compound, and I kind of got intrigued by the whole compound thing, the sights the releases and all that. And I said, hey, I'm gonna bust my tail for a good week here and figure this thing out. And I went up to Lancaster Archery, and a good friend up there helped me out with a compound. Really helped me out with the compound. It was all set up, and again, it's a left-handed one because I shoot compounds left-handed and traditional bows right-handed, just for some reason what I do. But I was able to set it up, and I'm here to tell you, you know, compounds they're not easy. You have to work at it. I mean, all bows, no matter what you shoot, we have to put the time in, and, you know, 30, 50 hours every single night in the basement, up close, working on, you know, how to work a trigger, a release. It was kind of really new to me. I mean, the last compounds I hunted with was 30 some years ago. It was a high country sniper, and I shot it instinctively. So it's been a while. But it works. I mean, it worked out pretty well for me. I mean, I made some really solid shots on deer through the late archery season, and then I had a really good, strong late season in January. I was able to take 4 nice deer, including a real nice 7-pointer, which, you know, that was another story for you. But you know, again, I'm just here to tell you that sometimes we have to improvise, and with that finger bothering me, I wasn't going to step out of the game. I was just going to find a way to make it work for me, and it's what I did. So I'm going to shut this off. Unless I find another one of these walking across this field, I'll be sure to flip it back on. But I'm going to walk up and show you this other tree stand. We'll stay on that subject, and then you know, again, towards the later end of the video, I'll kind of go over with you my choice of bows for the year, and why I did what I did and how it worked out. We'll be right back. So this is just such a cool spot right here. You can see this is a old walking trail that runs down through here, and the deer walk up and down it. We got some bedding area over here and some bedding area down below here. As you can see, it's kind of a bench. It's a bench that the deer just feel real comfortable walking the edge. If we walk over this edge right here a little bit, there's a couple houses down there. Everybody has three or 4 acres out here. So, but as a matter of fact, the one house that's down there is, you know, kind of a thorn in my tail end this year, because that's one of the homes that took away one of my bedding areas, because we basically had a bedding area there, and we had another bedding area back here, and this was just money every morning. The deer were just coming through here, and I saw some real nice bucks here last year, not too many this year. But you can see here, this is my stand location, guys. It's right up here. But as you can see, this one at the bottom of the tree, I have a lifeline on, and it just makes sense. You know, you tie it up above the tree, above the stand, and then you tie it off at the very bottom. I tied it to an old tree root down here, and you're basically, I use a little carabiner, and I want to show you guys that the carabiner, because it's really cool. Climbers use it. It's really tiny, and it basically loops around the rope, and as you go up the tree, it just follows you. It just pulls along. But the way the teeth and the way it's set up is it can't come down in reverse. So basically, when you go up something like this, you're tied in from the time you leave the ground to the time you leave the top. A lot of guys use pressing knots, and you know, pressing knots are really nice, but once the pressing knot rope gets a little hard, it will tend to slide. And this little carabiner that I use, I want to say it was like 36 bucks or something. I'll find out a little bit more and give you that guys that information, because the beautiful thing is it just slips in your fanny pack. It's very light. You don't even know it's there, and you just basically come in, hook into this rope, and up the tree you go. It's kind of like wearing your seatbelt in a car. You just feel a lot better. And I have my goofy son at one point, you know, kind of mocked a tree stand fall, and it worked just fine. Again, climbers use it, and you can find some YouTube videos on it, but I'll get back to you with that information. So, you know, this is the kind of setup we need to have. I definitely use, where I've kind of cheated lately is I usually use the lifeline when I use tree steps, and if I use ladder sticks, I don't. I want to try to get away from that next year. And you know, I know lifelines are expensive if you're going out and investing in maybe, you know, I might have 12 different permanent tree stands set up. But here's the deal. If you have a local tree guy, tree surgeons use their ropes for a certain amount of years and then they're done. Those ropes are still 100% functional. And maybe they cut them with a chainsaw or get a rub mark in them and they disregard them. I went to one of the guys, one of my clients who was a tree surgeon, and I said, I need some rope. He brought me a ton of rope. I cut it into maybe 30-foot sections, and you're good to go. So that is one way to get a lot of lifeline material for no money, and there's no excuse why each of us shouldn't be using them. Trust me, that fall really scared the hell out of me. Again, coming down the tree pretty fast, you don't have a lot of control of anything except when are you going to hit the ground. So there you have it. It was fun. Hey, we saw some of the property. We found a shed and got to show you a couple tree stand setups. So I'll get back to you in a few minutes with some little quick review of the bows that I used. It's going to be interesting, trust me. And all right, guys, so here we are. This is going to be kind of different, but here's the 3 bows I used this year. As you can see, I got a traditional bow. This is a tall tines recurve. Let's not get into why I shot it, but you know me, I jump back and forth. That's a right-handed bow. Then I got a left-handed Elite, and then I've got the Hoyt, and it's not a Pro Force, it's a Pro Tech. So what we're going to try to do here real quick is we're going to pass this to my lovely wife here on Valentine's Day. Gotta love it. Everybody else is out eating dinner somewhere and we're sitting out here shooting bows. But we're just going to try to see if we can kind of reenact what happened here. So we're at about 15-20 yards. See if we can get one in that paper plate with each of these bows. If we don't have to do a lot of retakes. She's not happy about being out here. All right, first shot. Do I get a second shot?
Really?
I know. All right, hold on here. All right, let's do it again. All right, there it is. We had to have a practice, guys. I haven't shot that bow in 5 months. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to lose the glove. The next bow I used was this left-handed Hoyt Pro Tech. Now, I shot this instinctively. Longer bow, fingers bow, a lot of people refer to them. Can you move down here a little bit, hon? Let's see how this one works out. All right, for money, we're there. And then the last one, which some guys think these compounds with all this fancy stuff is are easy, but I don't know. It's an awful lot of stuff to set up. So this is a Hoyt Ritual, courtesy of Dale from Lancaster Archery. Thank you very much, Dale. Got it set up with a sight, a fancy schmancy little drop away rest, spot hog sight, and a release. So let's see if we can make this work. There you have it. We did it, guys. So this is what I used this year. We got it done. I think we I don't know, we got seven or 8 deer this year. So it was a great year. It was a great year. I'm happy to get out there, but I'll be back to you guys with some other videos. I'd like to go over a video on this, and maybe we'll get to that next, because I'm kind of intrigued by it. And there's a lot of with any bow, there's a lot of hurdles if you want to shoot them right and shoot them effectively. And I'm still trying to figure them out, and I would like to go over with you what release I use that's kind of helped me through a little bit of the hard times trying to get acclimated here. So thanks for checking in. I do appreciate it. I'm going to go in and give the new shed that I found to my dog. He's going to be about as happy as can be. We'll catch up with you again later.